We take you back to the 2010 Heisman Trophy finalists. Cam Newton, the winner, the runner-ups, Andrew Luck, LaMichael James, and Kellen Moore, who will make his first NFL start today as we head downstairs to Laura Oakman. Laura.
Hi, Kenny. Okay, 5 years ago, Kellen Moore was a Heisman finalist with Cam Newton. Today, Cam is potentially the NFL MVP, and Kellen is making his first NFL start. And he's got a lot of advice this week, including from one of his quarterback mentors, Sean Hill, also undrafted and in his 13th season. He told him, "You've waited years for an opportunity that doesn't always come. Take advantage of it, but also take the time to enjoy it. These can be so far and few between." Kenny?
Thanks, Laura. Tremendous collegiate career at Boise State. Awaiting his first start in the National Football League on a 38-degree day. Some rain this morning, 40% chance of snow. Bills won the toss, elected to defer. Lucky Whitehead back deep for the Cowboys. Jordan Gay gets things started in Orchard Park. So Kellen Moore and the Cowboys offense will start from their 20-yard line. Tony Romo, Brandon Wheaton, Matt Castle, and now Kellen Moore.
You know, I thought the interesting thing was going to Sean Hill, going to Dan Orlovsky when he was up in Detroit, talking to the backups about longevity in the NFL. He knows it's an uphill challenge for him to ever have that starting role. So even with Matthew Stafford and Tony Romo ahead of them and an opportunity to visit with them, he was looking for information from everybody.
No Des Bryant today. Cowboys start with two tight ends and Darren McFadden in the backfield. This is McFadden who takes it out across the 25-yard line on first down.
And Kellen Moore is going to be able to lean on this offensive line, one of the best in the NFL, really starting to hit their stride here in the second half of the season. And Darren McFadden has been on a little bit of a tear here. He's putting up some great numbers. You see him start the game with them right there. He's averaging 8.4 yards per carry the last two games.
Three of the Cowboys' offensive linemen heading to the Pro Bowl. On 2nd and 5, it's McFadden. Gains a couple. Marcel Darius the tackle. It will be 3rd down and 3.
Well, going against a very good defensive front. A defensive front that has struggled. Mario Williams has not been happy with the role of the defensive line in the Rex Ryan system. He feels that more of it is about the linebackers in the secondary. He wants that front four to be able to be turned loose and get to the secondary as opposed to dropping in coverage and having a lot of other responsibilities.
Bills without rookie corner Ronald Darby today. 3rd down and 3. Empty backfield for Kellen Moore and the Cowboys. Moore on 3rd down. And the catch is made out across the 30 by Bryce Butler, who made the start today for the injured Des Bryant. So a new set of downs for the Cowboys.
Well, I think it's going to be interesting at the line of scrimmage, the cat and mouse game with the Rex Ryan style defense of all the players up there trying to confuse Kellen Moore, but he works his way through everything and finds Bryce Butler for the first down.
Butler split wide to the left, Terrence Williams to the right. Jason Witten shifts on 1st and 10 from the 31. It is McFadden, and he gains 5 out to the 36-yard line. Darius makes the tackle.
One of the things when you're playing defensive line against the run is you've got to be able to get upfield and be a player that understands leverage. You can't come up that far and allow that running lane underneath you.
Cowboys now send in 3 tight ends. On 2nd down and 4, James Hanna shifts to the fullback position. And this is McFadden, and he has nowhere to go. Corbin Bryant wraps him up.
There's a real nice play by Corbin Bryant, kind of exactly opposite what we saw from Mario Williams on that last play. Mario Williams needed to squeeze down that hole. Corbin Bryant breaks through, immediately gets flat along the line of scrimmage and chases down the runner.
Opening possession of the game for the Cowboys. They picked up 1 first down. Now facing a 3rd down and 6. 3 receivers set. Cole Beasley slot to the left. Kellen Moore's second pass attempt is caught by Butler. Bills first down with Corey Graham defending. 27-yard completion.
Well, one of the things that has the Dallas fan base excited about Kellen Moore is his confidence to give guys an opportunity to make a play on the outside. A long corner blitz. It's a little stutter move right there by Bryce Butler. Now that's an opportunity ball. It's a 50-50. I'm going to throw it up, go up and make a play. If you can't catch it, make sure the defender doesn't have the opportunity to intercept it.
So each of Kellen Moore's first 2 completions have gone to Bryce Butler, who had only 4 catches all season coming in. From the Bills, 39, it's McFadden, who gains 5 more yards, 8th in the league in rushing coming into the game, Darryl. Now over 900 yards for the season.
Well, it was one of the big question marks for the Dallas offense coming into the season. Losing DeMarco Murray, how are they going to replace that? It was started out by committee that first half of the season. Since the Lance Dunbar injury, Darren McFadden has become more of the featured guy, and it's really starting to pay off. I think it benefits him to be in more than be in that committee situation.
After 7 seasons in Oakland, penalty marker on 2nd and 5. As Moore fires, again looking for Butler.
Offside. Defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty. 5-yard penalty. Result in place, first down.
That's Jerry Hughes, and penalties have been a major issue for the Bills this season.
Now right down here at the bottom, and these are the ones that just make you crazy as a head coach, the pre-snap penalties, and it's been something that's been a problem, the pre-snap penalty for the Bills on both sides of their lines, offensive line and defensive line.
Bills the 2nd most penalized team in the league. First and 10 for the Cowboys from the Buffalo 29. Again, it is McFadden. Gains a yard. Corey Graham the tackle, 2nd and 9.
And it'll be important for this offensive line of the Dallas Cowboys to continue to be able to run the ball effectively, stay ahead of the chains for your quarterback, Kellen Moore. Always make him feel comfortable that he has the ability to turn around and just hand the ball off and get 4+ yards.
Cowboys 10th in the league in rushing this season, with McFadden leading the way. 9th play of the drive coming up for Dallas. McFadden split out to the left, bottom of your screen. Moore on 2nd and 9 to the end zone, and Butler attempted to make the adjustment.
Missed an opportunity there. Bryce Butler getting behind the defender again, coming out of the slot formation right here. Watch, he's going to get on top of coverage. Gets beyond Leotis McKelvin. There's no safety help over the top. Kellen Moore missed an opportunity for a touchdown pass there.
So all 3 of Moore's pass attempts to this point have gone Butler's way. Now 3rd down and 9. Cowboys 2 for 2 on 3rd down. Moore under pressure, moving to his left, and then he throws it away.
That was one of the things that he mentioned to us when we spoke to him yesterday afternoon. He goes, I have to understand that every once in a while, the defense is going to win that snap, and I just can't do something critical that takes away an opportunity for us. They've got an opportunity for points here with Dan Bailey coming onto the field, the Pro Bowler for the NFC as a kicker. So good decision by Kellen Moore to just throw that one away.
This will be a 46-yard attempt into the wind from the right hash. So Bailey now 29 for 30 on the season. Cowboys score on their opening drive. 11 plays. They lead 3-0.
Game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide.
3-0 Cowboys, 11 plays, 52 yards, a 46-yard Bailey field goal.
Now you mentioned Bryce Butler being the guy that Kellen Moore was looking to. Good job at the line of scrimmage. He found Bryce Butler in those one-on-one situations twice on that drive.
Bills released their return man this week, Marcus Thigpen, so Walter Powell was back deep, but this is taken by the up-back Booby Dixon, and he returns it out to the 23-yard line. When we return, Tyrod Taylor and the Buffalo Bills offense.
is sponsored by Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
3-0 Cowboys here in Orchard Park as Tyrod Taylor and the Bills go to work from their 23. Fifth highest passer rating in the NFL this season. He's thrown 20 touchdowns, only 5 interceptions. On first down, the handoff to Mike Gillislee, who scored on a 60-yard touchdown run against the Redskins last week. Sean Lee makes the tackle.
Buffalo Bills offensive line up front had some injuries they've been dealing with through the course of the year, trying to get some order there. Sammy Watkins has been on an absolute tear here the last month. It's going to be critical for the Dallas defense to make sure they've got him locked down.
No LaShawn McCoy, no Robert Woods, no Charles Clay, some of their skill players on offense. It's a first down out to the 36-yard line for Gillislee.
One of the guys in charge of shutting down that running game is going to be DeMarcus Lawrence. And the Bills talked about this Dallas defense playing very good football right now. The key to that has been the play of their defensive line. And DeMarcus Lawrence has done a great job, leads the team in sacks, leads the D-line in tackles.
6 sacks the last 6 games for Lawrence. First and 10 from the 35-yard line. As Taylor throws, and Sammy Watkins picks up a first down in Cowboys territory to the Dallas 42 as we head to Los Angeles for a game break. And Mike Hill. Mike.
Guys, Panthers' undefeated march continues, trying to end the Falcons' playoff hopes. Cam Newton doing what Cam Newton does. 8th rushing TD of the season. Can you say MVP? 7-0 Panthers. Remember, both of these teams started off 5-0, guys.
Thanks, Mike. And the Panthers would clinch home field with a win or an Arizona loss. 23 yards from Taylor to Watkins on the previous play. Now Taylor on first down under pressure. Moving to his left. And he is knocked out of bounds by Greg Hardy. Back at the line of scrimmage, the 42.
This is one of the things you have to be aware of with Tyrod Taylor at the quarterback position. When everything breaks down, he is very athletic. Third leading rusher as a quarterback in the NFL this season. You've got to have rush lane integrity. You've got Sean Lee that kind of mops up, and then Greg Hardy hustling. That's a clean hit. He's still in bounds. Fans here didn't like it, but that's a legal hit on the quarterback.
Taylor 79 yards on the ground last week. New franchise record for a Bills quarterback. Second down and 10. Again, it is Gillislee. Gillislee to the 37-yard line, so without Sean McCoy, Carlos Williams is active, but he's been bothered by a shoulder issue. Here comes Williams now onto the field for Gillislee.
It's a nice changeup. You know, Carlos Williams is your big physical runner. Gillislee is that change of direction, but that little burst. We saw it in the Philly game a couple weeks ago, had the big touchdown run you mentioned against Washington last week.
Williams split wide to the left. Bills empty the backfield on third down and 6. Bunch formation to the right. Bills must get to the 32-yard line for a first down. Quick release is Watkins. And right there to make the tackle is Brandon Carr, about 3 yards shy of the marker.
Well, you know, you get these bunch formations to try and make the releases difficult, but watch the releases by these 3 guys. This is pretty easy for Dallas's defense. Nothing where it was crossing. They didn't cloud anybody up. Brandon Carr does a nice job finding that clear path in to tackle Sammy Watkins.
And now on fourth down, Rex Ryan will leave his offense on the field instead of attempting a 54-yard field goal. Fourth down and 3. Taylor fires downfield, and it's through the hands of Chris Hogan, with Terrence Mitchell defending. So the Bills cannot convert on fourth down.
A couple of the all-time greats to play the game, Thurman Thomas, Jim Kelly from that great Bills era in the early 90s. You can see the passion with him. It just shot an opportunity for Chris Hogan to make a big play early in the game here. Goes right through his hands.
So the Cowboys take over. Good starting field position from the 36-yard line. Their second possession. As Moore's pass is caught and taken across midfield for a first down by Terrence Williams.
So you call the fourth down play, you come out in formation, and by the way Dallas covers it, you've got to go deep. You've got to go to Chris Hogan deep in that one-on-one situation. Tyrod Taylor throws a perfect ball. And watch this one. Right down the stovepipe and through the hands.
Hogan, the former star lacrosse player at Penn State. First and 10 from the Bills, 49. It's McFadden.
You don't want any ground balls in football, though, Kenny. No, he's got to get that lacrosse thing out of his system.
So it's McFadden to the 45 for a gain of 4. He only played 1 year of college football at Monmouth in New Jersey after the outstanding lacrosse career at Penn State.
You got to get rid of him. Get that one out of your mind. He's thinking about that too much. He had a chance to make the play. He didn't make it. You got to leave that one behind so you don't make another mistake down the road in the game.
Second down and 6. Off the play fake. Moore looking for Williams. Nearly intercepted by Ron Brooks.
Yeah, Terrence Williams has taken that. He's already patting his chest saying, that's on me, that's on me. How to stumble on this route, and he falls down. And Ron Brooks is left there to clean up for the interception. You got the double move, you're going to do a stutter and go, and doesn't get a good release to get by Ron Brooks.
Third down and 6 for Kellen Moore and the Cowboys from the Buffalo 45. On the toss, it's McFadden, and he picks up a first down and more to the Buffalo 33-yard line. McFadden needed 6, and he gains 12.
It's such a great opportunity for an offense when in a 3rd and 6 situation. You can run the football, and Jason Witten, number 82, has gone over 1,000 receptions during the course of this season, but he is still one of those old-school complete tight ends. He's a good blocker at the point of attack. He gets downfield. Not many like him left anymore in the game.
So the Cowboys will struggle mightily on 3rd down recently. Have converted on 3 of 4 here in the first quarter. From the 32-yard line, McFadden tries to bounce it to the outside, and he's forced out of bounds by Brooks.
Preston Brown was the player that made the play, though, finding his way through all those offensive and defensive linemen. The middle linebacker for the Buffalo Bills forced Darren McFadden to bounce that one outside.
Busy first quarter for Darren McFadden. Placed by Robert Turbin, the ex-Seahawk and Brown, on 2nd and 10. Moore backpedaling, looks to set up the screen, but could not make the connection with Turbin.
Screens are not as easy as people think they are either. I mean, this is a full blitz. This is a good play call to have. Look at all the Bills players up in the line of scrimmage. Now, just the timing in the field for this, the reaction. The Bills see the screen right away. They turn, retrace, which means they're going to follow the line back to where they were onto their assignment. Kellen Moore's got to be careful with that one. Good play call into that blitz, but Buffalo defense did very well.
Moore just 1 for his last 5. 3rd down and 10. And a timeout is taken by Moore with the play clock winding down. So Kellen Moore will head over for a chat with Jason Garrett across the way. We referenced Rex Ryan during our open. 5-4 start for the Bills, but things have not gone well over the last 5 weeks.
They haven't, and there was tremendous expectations not only for the football team, but the community. The community here in Western New York and the Bills fan base tied very tightly to their team, and it's been as disappointing a year in any of the 15 previous to this year, missing the playoffs. And It's really started coming to a head about a month ago. There's been some players that have been outspoken about the defense that they're running this season. They want the old Jim Schwartz defense, which is turning the defensive line loose to the quarterback. It's a very aggressive style. You've got 4 really talented defensive linemen. There's been frustration of not utilizing them or them being the focal point of this defense.
Bills had 54 sacks last year. This season only 20. On 3rd and 10. Moore steps up. And now he throws. Diving attempt is made by Terrence Williams with Mario Butler defending.
Yeah, that's good coverage by Mario Butler because Kellen Moore was able to extend this. That's a long time to cover Terrence Williams. It's a good job of moving up in the pocket. Everybody concerned about Kellen Moore's height and his ability to throw from the pocket. He's been doing this his whole career. High school level, collegiate level. He's going to be able to find those open lanes and get the throwing alleys down the field.
So here's Bailey, hit from 46 earlier. This a 50-yard attempt from the left hash. And Bailey's kick is short. Only his 2nd miss this season. Second missed field goal attempt for Dan Bailey. He had connected on 11 straight. And he was 5 for 5 this season from 50 plus. That was a 50-yard attempt into the wind. So the Bills take over at their own 40, trailing 3-0. On first down, a big haul and a flag at the end of the Carlos Williams run. Williams gains 27.
An opportunity for a tackle right at the line of scrimmage. I think it was Rolando McClain that missed the tackle early up in.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 31 in the defense. 15-yard penalty added the end of the run. First down.
Byron Jones grabbed the face mask, so 27 yards and then 15 more added on.
So watch the missed tackle right there in the hole. An opportunity for Rolando McClain to keep that to a short or no gain. And there's Byron Jones. Got helmet, face mask, just a little bit. Doesn't take much.
From the Dallas 19, it's Williams. And he's met initially by Sean Lee, forced back to the 23-yard line, a loss of 4.
Yeah, Dallas is fortunate to have 4 Pro Bowlers sent to Hawaii this past week. A lot of people thought there should be 5, including that guy right there. Sean Lee has been outstanding this season. And I tell you, it's hard to find somebody else in the NFL that is as good as Sean Lee as navigating through that line of scrimmage between all the offensive and defensive linemen to make tackles in the backfield.
He missed all of last season. He's the Cowboys' leading tackler this year. Second down and 14. Bunch formation to the right. This is Williams. Turns the corner. And is out of bounds at the 15-yard line, a gain of 8.
Deceptively quick. We just talked about Sean Lee and his ability to leverage players and tackle well. And Carlos Williams gets a little bit of a step on him. There's Sean Lee right there in the middle. He's mirroring this zone read play. Some sneaky speed by Carlos Williams.
Williams, the 5th-round draft pick, who scored a touchdown in his first 6 career games earlier this season for the Bills. 3rd down and 6. Watkins in motion. Taylor swings it out to Gillislee. And Gillislee picks up a first down. Dives for the pylon. He's in. Touchdown.
Another missed tackle on the perimeter. Good cut back inside by Mike Gillislee. He's coming this way on the screen. Watch 55 as he's coming out, just gets out leveraged. There's a quick cut inside, never got into balance, and is that right knee down before Mike Gillislee breaks the plane for the touchdown. Left knee looks like it's down before he breaks the end zone.
It was ruled a touchdown on the field. All scoring plays are reviewed, so Jeff Triplett will take a look.
After review, the ruling on the field has changed. The runner is down by contact at the half-yard line. It will be 1st and goal for Buffalo at the half-yard line.
touch. The left knee hit before Mike Gillislee is able to extend and break the plane for the touchdown. That's where he's down right there. Now a big goal line stand by the Washington Redskins last week against this Bills offense.
Williams in the backfield, Watkins in motion. On first and goal, it is Williams, and he is in for the Buffalo touchdown.
Had an opportunity to visit with offensive coordinator Greg Roman before the game, and he was really upset with himself about that sequence of plays last week against Washington when they were down on the goal line, did not have the right personnel matched up with the plays. That's one of the reasons why. Carlos Williams is your big physical inside runner.
His 6th rushing touchdown, 8th TD overall in his rookie season. Dan Carpenter off the upright. So the Buffalo lead is 6-3. Final minute, first quarter. With the extra point moving back this season, there have already been 66 misses. That's 3 more than the last 7 seasons combined. And Dan Carpenter of the Bills, Darryl, has missed 5 extra points this season.
And you know, the funny thing is we've had great weather in the parts of the country through the month of December that we thought would really impact that extra point situation. So we'll wait and see what happens here during the rest of today's games, and then next weekend we get into some of those windy, you know, winter weather situations where, hey, you know what, I think I'm going to go for 2 points on this.
Bills the only NFL team to carry 3 kickers. Gordon Gay, the kickoff specialist. Lucky Whitehead takes a knee. So the Cowboys will start at their 20, trailing the Bills 6-3. Cowboys with a 46-yard field goal on their opening drive. And then Dan Bailey missed from 50 into the wind.
But being able to sustain drives, you pointed out, playing well on 3rd down here early in the game, an area they have struggled with the last month or so. The running game is helping keep Kellen Moore ahead of the change. He's been aggressive down the field with his decision-making.
Turbin in the backfield, 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Kellen Moore and the Cowboys. This is Turbin. His first carry today. And he is out to the 25-yard line for a gain of 5 as time winds down in this first quarter at Orchard Park.
And that's the key right there. That's a gain of 5 yards. That did not look like anything right there, but the offensive line of Dallas staying on their feet, keeping those feet moving, pushing that pile. You've got 2nd and 5.
Cowboys do not have to run a play. So Dallas with the early field goal. Buffalo with a touchdown and a missed extra point. So both teams will head to the opposite end of the field. Rex Ryan's Bills with a 6-3 lead over Jason Garrett's Cowboys with 1 quarter in the books. Back at Orchard Park, our thoughts are with those affected by the storms and tornadoes in the Dallas area.
Actually, a moment of silence here at Ralph Wilson Stadium before the game in honor of those families hit by those storms, and it's been that way through the course of the Christmas weekend down in the South. So thoughts and prayers with all the families that have been impacted and affected.
Robert Turbin picks up a 1st down. Marcel Darius shaken up.
That'll be a big loss for the Bills defensive front. He's one of the best interior defensive linemen out there in the NFL.
Let's check in on the Colts and the Dolphins with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
Well, the Colts needing to win to keep their AFC South playoff hopes alive. Frank Gore doing his best to help out. Longest run of the season for him. 37 yards for a bunch of Dolphins along the way. They missed the extra point, but added a safety, hence the odd 8-0 score to start the second quarter. Kenny Moose and Laura.
Thanks, Kurt. So there's one of those missed extra points. We had one here in Orchard Park.
Go back to the end of that play. You'll see Marcel Darius enter the screen. Here he comes in. It's funny, it doesn't take much. You can see right away he kind of goes for that left hand, left arm.
Bills with a number of key injuries on both sides of the football, but defensively, Kyle Williams on IR, Aaron Williams, Ronald Darby out today, starting linebacker Nigel Bradham, and now Darius to the sidelines. First and 10 from the 32-yard line. Turbin in the backfield, Moore out of the shotgun. Moore fires downfield and it's broken up. Good defensive play made by Leotis McKelvin, stepping in front of Terrence Williams.
They're getting into the one-on-one situations, and Kellen Moore with a lot of confidence to get the ball thrown down the field. Trying to break across the face, it's thrown a little bit back to the outside, allows Leotis McKelvin to come back in and make a play.
So Moore, who completed his first 2 attempts, just 1 for his last 7. On 2nd and 10, it's Turbin. Out to the 35-yard line, gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Cowboys.
One of the big parts of the offense that the Dallas Cowboys run is control at the line of scrimmage, coming up and into the situations based on what the defense is giving you, getting into different plays. And you can see Kellen Moore in his first start here, in his first year in this system, very comfortable at the line of scrimmage with the adjustments.
Spent 3 seasons in Detroit as the 3rd-string quarterback behind Matthew Stafford and Dan Orlovsky. Moore on 3rd and 7, wide open, Cole Beasley. And Beasley will take it to the Bills' 40. So another 3rd down conversion for the Cowboys, a 25-yard pickup.
You get into that stacked release, so you're going to motion in and you're going to stack your release to try and challenge the defensive backs, and you're going to get Cole Beasley matched up on Nickel Roby. Watch the outside stick and then breaking to the inside, wide open in the middle of the field. Cole Beasley, kind of a question mark coming into the game, has been sick during the course of the week.
Timeout is taken by the Bills. Jerry Hughes headed to the sidelines after they lost Darius earlier on this drive. Well, this January, the celebration begins as we kick off the farewell season of American Idol. The show that made superstars is ready to discover an idol one last time. Don't miss the farewell season premiering Wednesday, January 6th on Fox.
Now what a tremendous run for that show. Well, part of that complaint during the course of the latter part of the season from the Buffalo Bills on defense is all the substitution, and definitely hurts you when you don't get the substitution start right and you only got 10 guys out there, Kenny. So had to call the timeout to get the 11th guy out.
Right after Hughes headed to the sidelines.
Yo, we got 5-2. We got 5-2.
First and 10 from the Bills' 40. And it's Butler again, who picks up a Dallas first down, his 3rd reception. Gain of 12. There is a flag.
Number 72, offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
That's on the center, Travis Frederick. It's only his 2nd penalty all season.
He's had a very, very clean season as the center of the Dallas Cowboys. Offensive line has not given up a sack, only his 2nd penalty.
Headed to his 2nd Pro Bowl.
Don't look away. You don't see this very often. Stephon Charles beats him right away. He's got a hook and hold.
So it forces the Cowboys back to midfield. First down and 20. Moore with time. And it's dropped by Devin Street. Ron Brooks defending, and Street slow to get up.
Yeah, he hit the ground hard. Good coverage by Ron Brooks on the play. The process of the catch, never really has possession. An opportunity right there. Ron Brooks staying with it, kind of pulling that helmet back a little bit to impact his ability to secure possession.
Second down and 20. More backpedaling throws, and another flag is on the field as McFadden was wrapped up by Manny Lawson.
You disrupt the timing of the screen. Wouldn't be surprised if this is an ineligible lineman downfield.
Ineligible downfield on the forward pass. Number 71 of the offense. Penalties decline. Result of the play is third down.
Now, when you get that pressure and that screen timing breaks down, you've got kind of like a mental clock in your head as an offensive lineman. You know, 1,001, 1,002, 1,003. Now I'm releasing downfield. We had to hold it a little bit longer, and all of a sudden you get the penalty flag thrown.
Cowboys lost the yard on the play. Bills declined the penalty. Third down and 21. Screen, Witten, his first catch today. And Witten takes it to the 38-yard line of the Bills and sets a new Cowboys franchise record with a reception in 118 consecutive games. He had been tied with your former teammate Michael Irvin.
Well, when it's all said and done, he's going to have virtually every receiving record there is for the Dallas Cowboys franchise. It's just amazing to watch him play this stage of his career, how productive he still is. He's an absolute warrior too. I think the most impressive one is the franchise record for consecutive starts that he's got. It's unbelievable.
By the way, the NFL record, Jerry Rice, 274 consecutive games with a catch. Fair catch is called for by Powell. So the Bills get the ball back after the good stand by Ron Brooks and the Buffalo defense.
Game is sponsored by Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. By Pepsi. Go behind the scenes of the Pepsi Super Bowl 50 halftime show only on Pepsi.com. And by Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's still finger-licking good.
Back at Orchard Park, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman, 6-3 lead for the Bills over the Cowboys. Bills start from their 14-yard line. Taylor throwing on first down. And the catch is made. There is a flag by the tight end, Chris Gregg.
Pass interference, offense, number 14. Half the distance to the goal, still first down.
One of the calls that we've seen quite a bit this year with a lot of these rub routes underneath, and it's the offensive player's responsibility not to have contact. So as Sammy Watkins, all right, you know, the blocking downfield, and it's the one of the few plays where the offense has the responsibility to do the right thing.
This is Taylor on 1st and 17. And Taylor will take it all the way out to the 23-yard line for a gain of 16 on first down.
But remember back in training camp as they were going through trying to sort out the quarterback position here in Buffalo, that's the element that Tyrod Taylor has as a part of his game that got him the nod, and Matt Castle was actually one of those guys vying for the starting job here in Buffalo.
And when you think back, Castle was in for the first play of the season. He was listed as the starting quarterback for the Bills week 1 against Indianapolis. Taylor was on the field as well. They were in the Wildcat. Taylor has gone out to start 12 games. E.J. Manuel the other 2 with Taylor out. Another terrific play made by Sean Lee, so it will be 3rd down and 2.
I think it's one of the things they've been trying to find a balance with Tyrod Taylor at the quarterback position. Very good from the pocket throwing the football. You saw the great pass that he threw to Chris Hogan that Chris Hogan dropped. but they've been trying to get him to use that athleticism. When that play breaks down, don't be afraid to run it, trying to add more of the called quarterback runs or the zone reads that give him the option to run.
Watkins in motion, 3rd down and 2. Brandon Carr comes up and makes the tackle with help from Lee, so Carlos Williams unable to pick up the 1st down, and the Bills will punt it away.
Well, that's good aggressive pursuit. Good job by Brandon Carr. Carlos Williams, we've seen him already this game. He's a big physical runner. That's a running back on a corner. You think that that nod is going to go, and he's got an opportunity, but then here comes Sean Lee and Barry Church in to assure that tackle is short of the 1st down.
So Taylor gained 16 on that 1st and 17 run, but the Bills unable to capitalize. First punt today by Colton Schmidt, taken out to 27 by Lucky Whitehead. And Whitehead is across midfield and finally forced out of bounds at the 44-yard line. And there's an injured Bill Marcus Easley, 28-yard return by Whitehead. Just over 8 minutes remaining, 2nd quarter in Orchard Park. There's Marcus Easley, Bills wide receiver and special team star, injured on the return.
It looks like a lower leg injury, and Deji Olatoya comes in on the hit, but it's the lower leg injury. So hard to see exactly what happened right there, but they've got the card out. Looks like a substantial injury, unfortunately, for Marcus Easley.
And we've talked about some of the injuries that the Bills have suffered this season.
It has been difficult.
Both sides of the football.
Yeah, and you know, injuries are a part of the game, but sometimes they really hit you and they can change the dynamics. Nobody knows that more than Dallas, with Tony Romo and Des Bryant out the majority of the year.
Stephon Gilmore, one of the injured Bills we have not mentioned. So as the medical staff tends to Marcus Easley, we head for a game break with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right, 2 teams not making the playoffs, but looking at the future. San Francisco and Detroit. Blaine Gabbert has played nicely since taking over the quarterback spot for the 49ers. Hooks up with Torrey Smith for a 16-yard score. They lead at 14-10 at Detroit in the 2nd quarter. Kenny, Moose, and Laura.
All right, thanks very much, Kurt. Marcus Easley now up on his feet.
We've seen a couple of teams that have been hit hard by injury. It's amazing how some teams are able to weather that, and some just, it impacts them so much that it really directly results in the season.
All right, let's head downstairs to Laura.
I'm going to keep continuing on that injury front because, as you said, this Buffalo defense came in so banged up. It continued that last drive. Marcel Darius, doctors were looking at his shoulder. He is not in right now. His return is probable, though, as Jerry Hughes, and Ron Brooks also left that last drive banged up, but they are both in right now. So it continues. But I guess Week 16 when doesn't it, right?
Yeah, it's been a long, hard season, and you know, one of the biggest ones is Kyle Williams, because not only do you lose his production from the inside, but as this locker room and the frustration is built here over the last month in Buffalo, Kyle Williams is going to be one of those guys that defense can go to, or is going to have control of that locker room. You can go to that veteran presence. He's going to be able to talk to the guys, to get them refocused, to get them to start buying in, and not fight your battles through the media. You don't want to fight your battles through the media when you have issues with what's going on, as we watch Devin Street for the Dallas Cowboys head up the tunnel as well.
Devin Street went through the concussion protocol on the sideline, now headed to the locker room. And now a penalty marker prior to the snap. It's a false start.
False start. Number 77, offense. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's the left tackle, Tyron Smith. Cowboys have been called for the most false starts in the league this season. Smith heading to his 3rd Pro Bowl. First down and 15. This is McFadden.
Good quick decision by Darren McFadden. A play designed to go to the right, and nothing there. Quickly makes the adjustment and breaks out to the left.
6-yard pickup, 2nd down and 9. The official word on Marcus Easley, it is a knee issue. Here's Scott Linehan, who spent 2 years with Kellen Moore in Detroit.
One of the big reasons Kellen Moore ended up in Detroit, and one of the big reasons he's now Dallas' starter today.
On the slant, it's Butler, and Bryce Butler takes it all the way down to the 9-yard line of the Bills.
Well, this is a great throw by Kellen Moore. His best of the day, in my opinion. Going to come out of the slot. Tight coverage into the middle of the field. Hits him in stride. Allows him to run after the catch. That was a very small window to fit that ball into.
Cowboys in the red zone for the first time. 1st and goal from the Buffalo 9. McFadden gains a couple down to the 7.
And here's another area where Dallas has really struggled the last few weeks once they get down into the red zone, and really one of the guys that you miss in this situation. You see right there the stats for the entire season. They're last in the NFL down in here. DeMarco Murray was a great asset down here. If you can run the ball effectively once you get down into the red zone, the scales tip to the defense. It's an advantage to the defense in this part of the field. You have to be able to run the ball effectively here.
Worst red zone touchdown percentage. 2nd and goal from the 7. It's McFadden.
DeMarco Murray, one of the league leaders last year, if not at the top of carries and yards and touchdowns inside the red zone. So Darren McFadden, that's definitely one of those areas where he's got to help this offense improve their performance in this part of the field.
3rd and goal from the Buffalo 4. Witten slot to the right.
Bryce Butler at the top. That's been Kellen Moore's go-to guy so far here today.
Play clock winding down. Moore looking for Butler in the end zone. And he was not able to come down in bounds.
All right. I'm going to get on my soapbox again, Kenny. I am not a fan of the fade in this part of the field unless you've repped it a bunch of times as quarterback and wide receiver. This is Kellen Moore's first start. Bryce Butler, maybe they've had this at practice and they've had an opportunity to do this, but this is game day in the NFL. I'm not a fan unless that is a quarterback and a wide receiver who've repped that a bunch of times.
So here is Dan Bailey, 1 for 2 today, 22-yard attempt, and the chip shot is good. So the Cowboys tie the game at 6.
Game is sponsored by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK.
Back at Orchard Park. Hope everybody has had a great holiday weekend.
Santa taking some time off from the busy Christmas weekend. Logging a lot of miles. Christmas Eve. What do you do on the weekend when you get some downtime?
Check the football game. Check the scores on your phone. Check your fantasy team.
He's checking on the reindeer. He's got that camera system set up so he can make sure they're all okay back home while he's at the football game.
That's right. Bills will start from the 20-yard line. 5.5 remaining, 2nd quarter.
With Greg Roman before the game, and one of the messages he got across to his offense this week was, listen, Dallas may be 4-10, but their defense is playing like a 10-4 defense. So he made sure that his guys understood that they were going to have a tough day at the office this afternoon.
Greg Roman's offense starting from the 20-yard line. Catch is made by the tight end, Chris Gregg. Good second effort, and he picks up a first down, a gain of 14.
And you need something like that just to give this offense a little bit of a spark. You can see kind of the up and down nature of their drives on that graphic. Just get some extra yards after the catch and run. We've seen Brandon Carr come up and make tackles in the pass on Carlos Williams. Misses Chris Gregg on that one. preaches all the fundamentals. He'll not be happy with missed tackles on the edges like that.
From the 35-yard line, Taylor takes off. Gain of 6 out to the 41 for Tyrod Taylor. Time for another game break. Kurt.
Good news for the Colts as they try to stay alive in the playoff race. Frank Gore gets his second touchdown of the day against the Dolphins. 11 yards on that one. They're up 15-6, but Charlie Whitehurst is now in at quarterback because Matt Hasselbeck re-injured that shoulder. Kenny moves along.
All right, thanks, Kurt. And Houston out to a 17-0 lead over Tennessee. Houston clinches the division with a win and a Colts loss. Out across the 45, picking up another Bills first down is Mike Gillislee.
He's been impressive. Last week we got an opportunity to see him against the Redskins. We watched that Philly game in preparation for last week's game. He's got that burst.
Originally drafted by Miami in the 5th round. In 2013, spent some time on the Arizona Cardinals practice squad. From the 46, again, it is Gillislee running behind the fullback, Jerome Felton. Gain of 3 out to the 49.
And one of the challenges that you have when you go up a Greg Roman offense, it's very multiple. You're going to get different personnel, different formations. You come out, it's just a traditional eye, and you check it at the line of scrimmage. Now all of a sudden you got split backs in a shotgun formation, but you're still running kind of that power sweep to the left side, so you'll get some traditional power runs out of some strange offensive sets and personnel groupings.
Bills bringing in 3 new wide receivers this week, 2 from the practice squad. One of them is in the slot to the right, number 17, Greg Salas. Second down and 7. Taylor looking to run. Bit of a stiff arm, crosses midfield, and is just shy of a first down, and then a late flag is thrown.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 5 of the offense. 15-yard penalty. Repeat. Second down.
Now, as a runner, you can put your hand on the face mask as long as you don't twist or turn. You can use it right there. He gets a hold of it. You can see him pulling it down. So we've seen a number of times during the season, I'm sure you have at home watching on TV, that running back with the stiff arm gets that hand on the face mask and it's not called. You can't have a twist or a turn to that, and you saw Sean Lee's head drop down.
How often do you see a quarterback called for a face mask?
With a big, powerful stiff arm.
Following the penalty, second down and 21. Taylor over the middle to Greg. And it's Lee who makes the tackle at the 38-yard line, and clock winds down, and we will hit the 2-minute warning here in Orchard Park with the Buffalo Bills and the Dallas Cowboys tied at 6. Get apps, videos, and more at iTunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remaining, first half at Orchard Park. 6-6 game. Third down and 17. Taylor throws, and it's Hogan who makes the catch for a Bills first down at the Cowboys' 42-yard line, a 19-yard completion.
Happy to see Chris Hogan have the opportunity to make up for that drop early. This is a third down that the Cowboys never should have allowed to be completed. That's a nice route in and out of his break quickly, and a well-thrown ball by Tyrod Taylor.
Taylor now 7 of 8 here in the first half. On first down, Williams tripped up. Gains a couple down to the Dallas 40. Buffalo with 2 timeouts remaining. Watkins split to the left, Hogan to the right. Williams in the backfield. Second down and 8. Taylor in trouble. Down he goes. Back at the 48-yard line to Marcus Lawrence with his 8th sack of the season, including a sack in 4 consecutive games, and David Irving is the injured Cowboy.
Come from that side, working against Jordan Mills. The athleticism, also against the run. You know, his run defense, he was always known as a good pass rusher coming out of college. The question was, you know, at the NFL level, how was he going to do against the run? He's gotten bigger, he's gotten more physical, and made a couple of big stops against the Jets in short yardage situations last game.
Marcus Lawrence, a teammate of Kellen Moore at Boise State. Irving heading to the sidelines. Randy Gregory onto the field for the Cowboys. Jeremy Mincy is scratched today. He led the Cowboys in sacks last year with 6. So 3rd down and 14 for Buffalo. 1:10 remaining, second quarter. 10th play of the drive for the Bills. They must get to the 32-yard line for a first down. Taylor cuts away from Lawrence, now throws, and it's Sammy Watkins who makes the catch inside the Cowboys 10, and now a late flag is thrown.
Sammy Watkins threw the ball away.
After the play is over, delay of game, offense, number 14. All the way into the end zone. The 5-yard penalty, still first down.
But the athleticism of Tyrod Taylor, you can do everything right, and he can still create a big play. Dallas has this covered well. They've got him inside the pocket. Randy Gregory gets pushed aside. One of the things you can't allow to happen. Now he's out. He's moving left. Watch Sammy Watkins, 14. He's working on that side of the field. He's just going to continue all the way across to that open spot, and Tyrod Taylor is able to extend that play and find him.
And then Watkins is flagged for a delay of game, 5-yard penalty. 1st and 10 from the Dallas 13. Empty backfield for the Bills. Taylor looking to run. And he takes it down to the Cowboys 7-yard line. Clock continues to run down to 40 seconds. Bills with 2 timeouts. 2nd down and 4. Bills using a lot of time. Taylor to Watkins. And now the Bills will use a timeout. Clock all the way down to 8 seconds. It will be 3rd down and 2. Here's a look at what's coming up at the half.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the AFC wildcard has been a game of musical chairs as the Chiefs, Steelers, and Jets look to secure a seat at the playoff table. Plus, the Houston Texans hold the key to the AFC South. A win today eliminates the Jags. But are the Colts still in the hunt? We've got all that. And what are you guys doing?
At least I know you're paying attention to Kurt. The halftime report is next. 8 seconds remaining. Bills with 1 timeout. 3rd down and 1. They used a lot of time, but they still have enough time to take a shot at the end zone, and then does not work, send out the field goal unit.
They still have the 1 timeout left, so Boyce talked about 6 seconds that we saw in that game last night. If you watched the Washington-Philly game, the one thing you can't do right here when you have no timeouts left.
Right.
But Buffalo's got one, so they're safe.
So Taylor will not take a knee.
He won't take a knee in this situation, I don't think.
Bills and Cowboys tied at 6.
But that was a long developing play on second down. You know, a little bit more urgency, and you might have 2 shots into the end zone here.
All right, Taylor out of the shotgun on third down. Looking end zone. He throws, and it's picked off. Intercepted in the end zone by Deji Olutuye.
One of the things that Tyrod Taylor has done really well this year is protect the football. Only 5 interceptions coming into this game. This decision, I'm not sure why, all the way out here to the top. And it is well covered. I mean, everything he sees right there, there's no reason to make that throw. So after going almost a year without an interception by somebody, over a year without an interception from somebody in the secondary, they've got one in back-to-back games now.
Right, Terrence Mitchell last week with his first career pick, and now Olutoye with the first in his career, so the Bills squander an opportunity. And we remain tied at 6 at the half here at Orchard Park. As Laura Oakman keeps up with Jason Garrett. Both teams head to their respective locker room. A late turnover. An interception in the end zone thrown by Tyrod Taylor. He was looking for Chris Hogan. But Olutoye comes up with the pick.
Remember the big drop by Chris Hogan early in the half, and then the interception on that last play.
One more look as Olutoye stepped in front of Hogan. The Visa halftime report is next. Today's excitement is brought to you by Nissan here in Orchard Park. Carlos Williams with the Bills touchdown. A couple of field goals for the Cowboys and a late interception. Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, as we get set for the second half. Some missed opportunities for Buffalo in the first half, and they will get the ball first.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why you defer. The beginning of the game, they defer. You want to be able to have an opportunity to score points at the end of the first half, then come out in the second half, get the ball right back, go down the field. The Bills lost a huge opportunity with that interception of being able to execute that, and then the big drop by Chris Hogan early in the game. There's been plays to be made, the missed extra point that throws your score out of whack a little bit. So Buffalo's had opportunities they haven't cashed in on them. Kellen Moore, in his first NFL start, he's stretching the field. He's recognizing at the line of scrimmage the one-on-one opportunities, and he's throwing the ball down the field, giving his guys an opportunity. That was one of the big criticisms of Matt Castle and Brandon Whedon. They weren't stretching the field. They weren't getting the wide receivers involved in the passing game.
Moore 7 of 15 for 116 yards in the first half. Scooped up by Walter Powell, but he will not make it to the 20. Powell, one of the 3 wide receivers added to the Bills' active roster this week. A look at the first half numbers, 199 total yards for Buffalo, but as you mentioned, the missed opportunities. The pass that went through the hands of Hogan, missed extra point, then the interception in the end zone.
We have so many teams kind of hovering around that 500 mark. It's really a league based on parity, and that handful of plays that tip the game is more true today than it ever has.
A late flag. They will set up to kick off once again. Offside call against Dallas.
Jason Garrett trying to figure out who the call is on. Find out who made the mistake. It was going to be a very difficult starting field position for the Bills.
So Bailey will tee it up once again. Dallas Cowboys at 4-10. Won their first 2 games of the season, have lost 10 of 12. Buffalo Bills started 5-4. Have lost 4 of their last 5 games, just 6-8. Both teams eliminated from playoff contention last week as the ball has blown off the tee. Not exactly a stellar start to the second half.
Try this one. Maybe it was the other football that was bringing some bad mojo in.
All right, here we go. Take 2. It is Powell from the 7. So much better field position for the Bills as Powell takes it out to the 32-yard line.
Yeah, the simple 5-yard penalty results in much more than that in starting field position for the Bills right here. And, you know, a lot of time that impacts the play calling by Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator. When you're backed up and you've struggled kind of through the first half, you might not want to be as aggressive, but now you feel like you've got the whole playbook open to you.
So the Bills gained 16 yards thanks to the penalty and the re-kick. Taylor on first down. Off the mark, intended for the tight end. His second consecutive game, their starting tight end. Lost Percy Harvin early in the season. Robert Woods placed on IR.
Sean McCoy.
Clay and Woods, their top 2 receivers for the year. Both out. On 2nd and 10, it's Williams.
And it is a talented skill group to defend. The Buffalo Bills are able to walk out, as you pointed out, Sammy Watkins, Robert Woods, Charles Clay, LaShawn McCoy. Just imagine what this offense could have been if they had all those guys on the field on a consistent basis throughout the year. But a lot of pressure on Dallas because you're going to extend the perimeter with the playmakability on the outside, and then you've got one of the shiftiest running backs in the NFL, and LaShawn McCoy, to hurt you inside. But they just haven't had that lineup for the majority of this season.
Bills lost McCoy in the game against Washington last week. 3rd down and 9. Taylor under pressure. And he's knocked out of bounds at the 32-yard line by Rolando McClain. Goes in the book as a sack. 3rd for the Cowboys today.
They have harassed Taylor. Started in the second quarter, now continuing here the opening series, the opening possession of the second half. Washington did a good job last week against Buffalo's offensive line, had a lot of pressure on Tyrod Taylor throughout that game. The first half, the Bills' offensive line did a good job.
Schmidt punting from his 22-yard line. Good kick, right hand. Lets it bounce out of bounds. So the Cowboys take over early 3rd quarter after the pressure and the sack of Tyrod Taylor.
Game is sponsored by Southwest. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. By Microsoft Surface, the official tablet of the NFL. And by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today.
Back at Orchard Park, Kenny Albert, Darryl Johnston, Laura Oakman, Kellen Moore, and the Cowboys start from their 19-yard line as Moore hands it off to McFadden. And he gains 5 down to the field. And Laura.
Hi, Kenny. I talked to Jason Garrett about Kellen Moore, who said he's doing a good job operating the offense, said that he's made good decisions, good drives. Now we just have to finish them. Defensively, said the quarterback's runs are killing us, the run period. We need to bear down and tighten the screws. As for Rex Ryan, you talked about all the inactives. He said, we have 10 starters out. I'm so proud of the way the guys are playing their butts off. We just have to stop the penalties. We've heard that before, Kenny, I know.
All right, thanks, Laura. 4 Buffalo penalties today as McFadden is tackled on 2nd and 5 by Preston Brown.
See if that ball came out at the end on the hit by Preston Brown coming from inside out. Nope, Darren McFadden was down.
Cowboys facing a 3rd down and 4. Their opening possession of the second half in a 6-6 game.
Bryce Butler at the top. That's been Kellen Moore's go-to guy. Cole Beasley in the slot next to him.
And Moore looking for Williams. Again, Leonis McKelvin makes the play.
Just not the right timing here. It allows Leonis McKelvin to drive on the ball. This ball is going to be thrown out to the left. Just a little stop route. Need to work back. Terrence Williams needs to work back to that, but just the timing allows the corner, Leonis McKelvin, to make a break on it.
Cowboys go 3 and out for the first time today. Chris Jones punting from his 15. Powell will let it go. And it bounces out of bounds. So the Bills will start from their 27-yard line. Dallas Cowboys, one of 3 teams starting a 4th quarterback of the season today. You have Whedon, who was a Cowboy, Mallett, who was a Texan. And by the way, Cowboys are tied. Houston and Baltimore are winning.
4th quarterbacks are having a nice afternoon.
They sure are. Tyrod Taylor and the Bills start from their 30-yard line. Taylor throwing on 1st down. It's complete to Hogan. 19-yard pickup. Out to midfield. Time for a game break. Mike Hill. Mike.
Speaking of Brandon Wheaton, looking good today against the Tennessee Titans. DeAndre Hopkins, 15-yard score right there. It's 24-0 in the 3rd. Texans with a chance to wrap up the AFC South today with a win and some help. Kenny moves back to you.
Thanks, Mike. Whedon started 3 games for the Cowboys. He's the 2nd quarterback all time to start in the same season for teams in the same state. Steve DeBerg was the first. Whedon getting the job done for the Houston Texans. This is Gillislee for a gain of 4.
That pass play to open this series, one of the more effective plays that Buffalo has been running during the course of the game this afternoon. Kind of that deep comeback route timed up very well the times that we've seen it thrown and completed this afternoon.
Taylor on 2nd and 6. Complete for a 1st down for Sammy Watkins. 17-yard connection.
Again, we got to start complimenting the Bills' offensive line. Struggled a little bit last week against the Redskins. Playing well this afternoon, giving Tyrod Taylor a clean pocket to throw from. And again, it's this deep comeback route to the outside. They opened the series with the play. Here it is again on the opposite side with Sammy Watkins. A little double move.
Five receptions, 85 yards for Watkins today. From the Dallas 29. Taylor looking to run. There is a flag. As Taylor is upended. And another flag is thrown.
Holding, number 79, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 1st down.
We've talked about the athleticism and the element that Tyrod Taylor brings, but you also run the risk of having your quarterback taking the big hits on the outside. Deji Olatoye again with a hit right there. Rex Ryan wondering if it's late. That's the 2nd one we've seen right on the sideline where Tyrod Taylor has taken a couple of big hits.
Penalty forces the Bills back to the 39-yard line. 1st down and 20. This is Williams. Again, Sean Lee out on the tackle as Williams gains 4 down to the Dallas 35.
Sean Lee looks a little shaken up there, working that right arm up. That's been the one knock on Sean Lee. Been tough for him to stay healthy for an entire season. But when he's on the field, he's a difference maker.
Missed all of last year with the torn ACL. Second down and 16. Taylor can't find anyone downfield, and he takes off. Tyrod Taylor is now the Bills' single-season rushing leader for a quarterback. He breaks Doug Flutie's mark.
Well, you heard Laura's report after talking to Jason. The quarterback runs are really hurting this defense. You can do everything right. If you lose just a little bit of rush lane integrity, Tyrod Taylor is going to take advantage of that. You've got to keep him corralled inside. You can't get your back turned to him. You can't get pushed beyond him in the pocket.
Gained 13 yards on that run. Now third down and 3, and it's Williams who picks up the Bills' first down for the Dallas 15.
Obviously the best drive of the day for the Bills here in the third quarter. Nice mixture. We've talked about the deep comebacks on the outside. Rod Marinelli, then his group having to defend Tyrod Taylor when the play breaks down. And Carlos Williams, he's a big physical runner. He's finding some positive yards inside against that tough Dallas front.
Williams averaging 5 yards a carry today, just under 6 yards per carry for the season. He set it down for the Bills from the 15-yard line. Again, it is Williams, and again, it is Sean Lee who makes the tackle.
He's got a real nice feel as he moves from inside to outside, and he also, when he gets to the point of the tackle, has great leverage. He comes to balance and makes the play. See a lot of times where you have athletic guys coming inside out, sometimes they overrun it, they're not in position to make that tackle. Sean Lee does a real nice job of coming to balance right at the point of contact.
Second and 10. Under 7 minutes remaining, third quarter. Taylor, not much running room. Shoved out of bounds by Terrence Mitchell after a short gain.
That's a nice job by Greg Salas, one of the new receivers here for the Buffalo Bills. That's not your favorite play when you're putting it in during the course of the week. You're gonna motion me in. I got to block the defensive end and pin him to the inside. So that's a nice effort. 17 come in and get the block right here and secures it. Allows Tyrod Taylor to get on the outside.
Greg Salas, who played for Rex Ryan with the Jets, actually a former Ram and Patriot. Empty backfield, third down and 9. Taylor fires, and it looked like the intended receiver slipped, the tight end Nick O'Leary.
Work in the middle of the field. Goes to stop. Feet come right out from underneath them. And on that play, Tyrod Taylor was not going to have an opportunity to run on that one because Randy Gregory was coming right up the middle.
So here is Dan Carpenter. Now to attempt a 32-yard field goal from the left hash. Colton Schmidt places it down. And Carpenter's kick is good. So the Bills take the lead. 9-6 Buffalo.
Is sponsored by the Ford F-150. Every other truck is history.
Rainy day here at Orchard Park. Bills have taken a 9-6 lead on the Cowboys. 10-play, 56-yard drive. Carpenter, 32-yard field goal. Kellen Moore of the Cowboys offense back out to the field. Now let's head down memory lane. Back-to-back Super Bowl matchups, and you were a big part of them. Super Bowl 27 and then Super Bowl 28, January of '93 and '94. Both victories for your Cowboys over the Bills.
Yeah, it was, I know how much this team means to this community. I grew up in Western New York, and I still am amazed at what Thurman Thomas, and we saw him together with Jim Kelly earlier on the sideline, Bruce Smith, Darryl Talley. God, what a great group, Andre Reed. Just a fantastic accomplishment by that group. The resiliency, the perseverance, 4 straight Super Bowls. I know they never won that game, but I was always so impressed by their ability to bounce back and come back the following year with all that adversity and find a way to get back to the big game.
First and 10, 20-yard line. Pass intended for Butler. How was it for you when you would come back home after those Super Bowls?
You know, people were happy for you individually, but obviously they wanted their team to be able to have a championship. And, you know, I was going to, I talked to them about, they had their chance the first few times against the Giants and the Redskins. And, I normally cheer for the NFC East. If the NFC East is in the Super Bowl, that's the team that I cheer for. In those situations, I was cheering for Buffalo. I really wanted the fans here to have that experience. I know how much that relationship is and how much it means to the community.
Off the play fake on 2nd and 10. Catch is made by the tight end, James Hanna. And he picks up a Dallas first down as we head to Los Angeles. Mike Hill, Mike.
Falcons trying to keep those playoff hopes alive against the unbeaten Carolina Panthers. Matt Ryan looking for a receiver. Double covered downfield, but that receiver being double covered is Julio Jones, and he's a beast. 8 catches, 148 yards in that touchdown. 14-10 Falcons in the third so far.
All right, thanks very much, Mike. A huge day for the Falcons. Julio Jones, new set of downs for the Cowboys from their 30. It is McFadden, big hole, first down and more, as McFadden is finally forced out of bounds by Corey Graham at the Buffalo 42-yard line, a 28-yard pickup.
Just a great feel. Watch, he's going to slide to his left. He's going to make one little move here on the edge and to get back inside. Right there, gets a nice block coming from the outside. And I tell you what, he's added an element here the last couple of games. The explosive running game that Dallas has obviously had last year with DeMarco Murray. Missed that in the first part of the season. That's his 7th explosive run the last 3 weeks.
From the 42 on first down. A few more yards for McFadden. We are under 5 minutes remaining. Third quarter with the Cowboys on the move. Trailing by 3. America's Game of the Week coming up. Many of you will see the Packers and the Cardinals. Both teams have already clinched playoff spots. Washington Redskins clinching the NFC East last night with their victory in Philadelphia. Second down and 8. Moore with time. And the pass is short. He was looking for Hanna. Nickel Roby defending.
I think what has the Dallas fan base excited, we talked about at the top. Watch Kellen Moore's eyes. His eyes are down the field. He's looking for the deep throw, and then he checks back up to find out where he can go with his outlet throw. We talked to Jason Garrett about making the switch to Kellen Moore. He said, our passing game just was not performing at the standard we set to it. I needed to do something different. The defense had been playing too hard. Our team had been playing real hard. We weren't getting any benefit from our pass game, so I felt we needed to make the change with Kellen.
Who came on in relief against the Jets last week. High throw. It's gathered in by Williams in a couple of nice moves and picks up a first down. So the pass was high, but Williams makes the play and gains 14 yards.
And I had to float it out there. Jerry Hughes right there saves a touchdown. We'll see his hustle to get back into the play on the outside. Coming back in on the screen. Now watch number 55 get back in. Looks like Terrence Williams might be able to pull away right there, but the hustle down the field by defensive end Jerry Hughes, probably the one who impacted that throw at the very beginning.
New set of downs for the Cowboys from the Bills, 26. On the slant. Deflected away from Butler and intercepted. And taken back by A.J. Tarpley across midfield and into Cowboys territory. The rookie out of Stanford with his first career interception and a return of 35 yards. Intended for Butler. First turnover of the game committed by the Dallas Cowboys. There is A.J. Tarpley, who came up with the pick. Now the Bills start from the Dallas 46 as Taylor hands it off to Carlos Williams, and he gains 3.
And the location has just been a little bit off for Kellen Moore today. This is the first time that it's really hurt the Dallas Cowboys. It's on the back hip. Bryce Butler goes to make a play, pops it up right to A.J. Tarpley for the interception. And that is, you look at the reasons why Dallas is 4-10. Everybody wants to talk about Tony Romo, Des Bryant, the turnovers, the red zone performance. We saw that in the first half. There's a lot of reasons they're at 4-10 besides those injuries.
There's Taylor, and it's Lee again who comes up to make the tackle. And you talk about turnovers, that was number 28 committed by the Cowboys, third most in the league.
And they came in today minus 18, the worst turnover ratio in the league. They were number 2 in red zone TD percentage last season. They're last this year. So yeah, they don't have their starting quarterback. They don't have their marquee receiver on the outside. But Jason Garrett and his team have not performed well in areas that they were very good in last season, which has really contributed to that.
Taylor on 3rd down and 8. Catch is made by Williams for Buffalo, first down, and then he loses the football. It's recovered by Brandon Carr. So the Bills give it right back, and now a flag is thrown at the end of the play.
Rex Ryan saying that Carlos Williams was down before the fumble. Replays rolling here at the stadium.
After the player is down on the interception, personal foul, late hit, number 79, Buffalo. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That ball sure looks like it's coming out before Carlos Williams' knee is on the ground. Brandon Carr with the recovery.
It's out.
Barry Church punching it out, coming from behind.
And then the personal foul committed by Jordan Mills. So for the Bills, it's their second turnover. So Buffalo could not capitalize on the Tarpley interception. Cowboys go back to work from their 39-yard line on first down. This is Turbin. Loses his footing and loses 2 yards.
Well, when you hear people talk about situational football, that's one of the areas right there. It's called sudden change, where your offense has a turnover, the defense has to go on the field. What a nice job by Dallas's defense in that sudden change situation of getting the ball right back to their offense. We'll see what the response of the Bills defense is here.
Second down at 13. Empty backfield for the Cowboys. Play clock winding down. Cowboys get the snap away. Moore to the outside. The catch is made by Williams. Terrence Williams out to the 46. Gain of 10. McKelvin the tackle. 3rd down and 3.
Now we've seen the field. It's been a little slick. We've seen a couple of guys slipping here on their breaks. So Terrence Williams, that's a nice job. He comes back for the catch, and then he turns around and just gets directly north or south.
Half minute to play, 3rd quarter at Orchard Park. Moore on 3rd and 3. It's Beasley, and he looks to have the first down. On forward progress.
Boy, he is right on the marker.
It is a first down for Dallas as the third quarter comes to an end. Back-to-back turnovers, the Tarpley pick, and then the Williams fumble. Knocked out by Church. We head to the fourth quarter in Orchard Park. Rex Ryan's Bills leading the Cowboys by 3.
A little bit of frustration there from Coach Ryan. His team had an opportunity to have the interception, put him in great field position, turn around, give it right back to Dallas.
Cowboys first and 10 from midfield as we start the fourth quarter, and this play is blown dead. It's a false start.
False start. Number 70, offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's Zach Martin. So each of the 3 offensive linemen heading to the Pro Bowl have committed a penalty today.
What are you saying, Kenny? They shouldn't go?
Yeah, they still deserve it. 5 penalties committed by the Cowboys. First and 15 from the 45. First NFL start for Kellen Moore, who had a tremendous record, 50-3 at Boise State, the all-time winningest quarterback in NCAA history. Moore over the top, and James Hanna unable to make the catch.
Boy, they almost had another opportunity for the Bills to get an interception off of the deflection. Everything's covered downfield. Again, Kellen Moore scanning down the field, wanting to get the ball vertically down the field, then finds his check down right in front of him. James Hanna can't make the catch, and it pops up in the air again.
Second down and 15. Turbin. Robert Turbin found a hole and gains 12.
Such a huge plus for an offense, a 2nd and 15 situation. The confidence to just hand it off to your running back in that situation. We look at some numbers here for the Dallas Cowboys. Darren McFadden just continues this role he's been on the last couple of games, running really, really well.
Bryce Butler had those 2 early receptions. Third down and 3. Moore's pass is intended for Butler. Well, the Cowboys will send out the punting unit.
Bryce Butler has been his go-to guy all game long. Right there, Manny Lawson closing that one down. That one had to be down and away.
Jones punting from his 45. And it will be down at the 12-yard line by Jeff Heath. Bills with a 3-point lead.
Game on Fox is sponsored by Sprint. Switch today and save. By the U.S. Army. And by Burger King. Now get 10 chicken nuggets for $1.49 only at BK.
9-6 lead for the Bills here at Orchard Park. Early fourth quarter. Sean Lee's had a tremendous game for the Cowboys.
He really has. I agree, and it's hard because he's not a pass rusher. And a lot of those Pro Bowl players, a lot of that from the linebacker position is based on your sack numbers. And Sean's not going to have the big sack numbers, but boy, when you talk about tackles, he's been everywhere across the field this afternoon again.
Carlos Williams on first down. Williams close to a first as we check in with Laura.
Kenny, I told you guys the first thing Rex Ryan wanted to talk about at halftime was how many starters were down. He just lost another one right now. Offensive line is down. Rookie guard John Miller. He is questionable with an ankle injury, Kenny.
Replaced by Craig Urbick, number 60. Thanks, Laura. And Miller missed some time with an ankle injury earlier this month. On first down, it's Williams.
I like the play calls by Greg Roman in this situation. Carlos Williams with the fumble the last time the Bills had the ball, coming out and giving him the opportunity to carry it right again. And Rolando McClain, I mean, he's a big physical, athletic linebacker in the middle of that Dallas defense. It's a different defense when Rolando McClain is not in the lineup.
And he was not in the lineup last week against the Jets due to concussion symptoms, returning here today. Second down and 9. Taylor fires downfield. And there is a flag. Watkins, the intended receiver. Brandon Carr defending.
Well, this could be on Sammy Watkins as much as it's on Brandon Carr. I would have just let that one go. I thought that they were both battling for the ball. I'd like to see him pick this up. Yeah, see, I mean, that's just two guys battling on the outside.
Pass interference, offense number 14. That penalty's declined, resulting in play, third down.
You know, they're battling for this on the outside, and nobody's really gaining an advantage. You haven't done anything egregious. It's more of a stumble with Brandon Carr there because of the contact. So I like when they let him play on the outside, and when it's true man-to-man in a deep ball situation, you're going to have situations like that. Just let him play on the outside.
That's the third penalty committed by Watkins. 2 offensive pass interference and the delay of game. Third down and 9. Taylor takes off, but he will be stopped short.
And he's slow to get up. He's taken a beating here today. He's taken some big hits on the sideline, and that's another one right there at the end of that scramble.
Schmidt waiting back at his 14-yard line. Whitehead deep for the Cowboys. Schmidt able to handle that snap. Here's Whitehead. So the Cowboys will have it at their 31-yard line with under 12 minutes to play as Tyrod Taylor was shaken up. Cowboys will start from their 31. Only 1 catch for Jason Witten so far today.
He was one of our players to watch. As a young quarterback making your first NFL start, you want a good running game and you want to know where your tight end is, especially when he's the best tight end of his era. I mean, Jason Witten needs to be more involved in this game.
And Moore was looking his way that time. Moore under pressure took a hit from Manny Lawson.
They've kept Kellen Moore pretty clean here today, but not on that one. And I think he was trying to get to Jason Witten, thrown behind him again, but that was impacted by Manny Lawson.
Jason Witten, the 10-time Pro Bowler, 1,014 career receptions. Just 1 so far today. Second and 10. McFadden cuts to the outside, has a first down and more. There is a flag. Corey Graham finally makes the tackle in Bills territory, a gain of 22. Well, it looks like it's coming back.
Holding, number 13 in the offense. 10-yard penalty, he's still second down.
Lucky Whitehead.
From the wide receiver position, using a wide receiver on a hold is you don't expect the run to break back your way. All of a sudden, Darren McFadden's going to wind it all the way back. Here's Terrence Williams to the play side. And then Lucky Williams, there's number 13, goes up inside. Now that's not a hold right there, so I think it's 83, not 13.
83 is Terrence Williams, 13 Lucky Whitehead. Second down at 11, empty backfield for the Cowboys. To the near side, and a diving catch is made by Williams.
There you go, makes up for the holding penalty.
On offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
But there's another one. So Williams' catch is negated. Cowboys offense without a touchdown today. Only 4 touchdowns their last 4 games combined. 1-9 without Tony Romo as the starter. 3-1 record with Tony. Second down and 21. It's McFadden for a gain of 5.
Well, when you don't have Tony Romo at the quarterback position, all of a sudden your margin for error shrinks. And there's Tony on the sideline today. And here, here's a testament to him as a leader on this team. This is Christmas weekend. He's got a family back home. Very easy for Tony to stay at home and spend Christmas time with his family. He's on the road with his teammates, and when that margin for error shrinks, Dallas has not been able to make the critical plays. They've been in virtually every game except the New England game. Even in Green Bay, it was 14-7 in the fourth quarter with 10 minutes to go. So they've been right there, but just haven't been able to make the plays necessary because Tony Romo is very unique at the quarterback spot at extending plays and creating explosive opportunities down the field.
Andy Lawson is the injured Bill.
Andy Lawson was part of that tackle right at the end there. There he is, 91. See if that whole pile comes down on his shoulder. Well, he's got everybody coming down on top of him. I've heard of shaking it off before, but that's a little excessive there, Kenny.
Well, we had one of the Cowboys defenders, Byron Jones, last week, who popped his own knee back into place.
I will not even go back and look at that. I read about it. I do not want to see that.
You take his word for it?
I'm going to believe everything that everybody has said.
And now another flag.
Game offense. 17. 5-yard penalty, still third down.
Third penalty of this drive committed by Dallas.
Did they get the bump on the play clock? I think that's what Tony's asking. Did they get that play clock bumped after that injury?
Looking over the shoulder of head coach Jason Garrett. With the Cowboys trailing by 3. Third down and 19. More over the middle, it's Williams. And Terrence Williams will pick up the first down. Good awareness as to where the sticks were. He needed 19 and gained 22.
Those are just backbreakers for a defense. 3rd and 19. Dallas has helped you out with all their penalties, and it's just a deep in route right there. The play is made by Terrence Williams after the catch. Nice move to dip under and then come out and around to get the yards necessary to convert the first.
4 catches, 62 yards for Williams. Whitehead in motion from the 44. Moore looking for the tight end, Hanna. Graham on the coverage.
A lot of things going on there. You've got Lucky Whitehead coming in motion. You worry about the jet sweep. A little bit of play action fake. You're trying to get it to James Hanna down the field.
Second and 10, 8.5 remaining, fourth quarter. Bills with a 3-point lead. Moore's pass is caught. It's Butler, and it looks like he picks up another Dallas first down, gain of 11.
That's too easy right there for this Bills defense. Has got to be firmer in that situation. That's just a slant route.
From the Buffalo 46. On first down, the handoff to McFadden. And he will gain 2 down to the Bills' 44-yard line.
Got to continue to have that strong running game, allow the play action to be viable to help Kellen Moore out in these situations. But I like the play calling. They've gone to the run game in some unique situations. We saw them go 3rd and 6 to convert for a first, a 2nd and 15. They ran, Scott Linehan called a run play in that scenario before they got into that whole penalty back and forth situation.
Empty backfield, second down and 8. Play clock at 1. Moore backpedaling, and then he throws it out of bounds.
Again, another good decision. Again, going back to that thought process that every once in a while the defense is going to win. Buffalo had won that snap. They had come up with a blitz that was coming free. The protection didn't account for the overload blitzer, and Kellen Moore just had to get rid of it.
Cowboys over 50% today on third down. They are 7 for 13.
But Bills defense has to make a stand here. That 3rd and 19 was a devastating third down conversion to let up another 3rd and long situation here.
Cowboys must get to the 35 for a first down. And they will not. Some miscommunication as Williams stopped on his route.
Options at the top of the route. Terrence Williams runs the curl, and Kellen Moore is throwing the go. Down at the bottom of the screen.
So the Cowboys will punt it away with just over 7 minutes remaining. Powell back deep for the Bills. Jones from his 45. Powell lets it go, and it's down inside the 10 by Danny McCray.
Sponsored by Amazon Fire TV. So long, showhole.
The Buffalo Bills have not beaten a team from the NFC East this year. Lost to the Giants in October, lost to the Eagles and Redskins the last 2 weeks. Leading the Cowboys by 3 as the Bills start from their 8-yard line, and it's Gillislee out across the 10. 6.5 to play. Downstairs to Laura.
Kenny, the Cowboys defense without safety Barry Church. We saw him leaving into the locker room. He's undergoing x-rays right now on his right arm. I'll give you an update as soon as I get one.
Okay, thanks, Laura. Bills still without starting right guard John Miller. Placed by Craig Urbich. Second down and 8. Taylor out of the shotgun. Throws near side. It's Gillislee. Coming up to make the tackle is J.J. Wilcox after a short gain, and Gillislee slow to get up.
Yeah, a little slow getting up after being thrown to the turf. And with Barry Church out, J.J. Wilcox in that spot. I think it was interesting, you know, what Dallas was, the way they're going to line up with D.J. Olatoya at cornerback, and they want to take a look at Byron Jones back at safety. We'll see if that plan still works out with the injuries happening.
Jones is at safety here. Third down and 6. Taylor spins away from pressure. Still on his feet. Looking to run for the first down. He's got it.
That's great stuff right there. There's 3 Dallas Cowboy defenders that are running back to the huddle right now going, how did I miss that guy? I mean, this is just an incredible individual effort by Tyrod Taylor. Watch. He spins to the outside. Greg Hardy's got him. Nope. Coming back inside. Tyrone Crawford's got him. Nope.
71 is eligible.
That is just an amazing individual effort by Tyrod Taylor.
He's the first Bills quarterback all time to rush for over 500 yards in a season. Now the handoff to Williams on first down, and Carlos Williams is out to the 26-yard line, gain of 7.
You look at a play like that, and it allows you to continue this drive. Now, you're always waiting for somebody to create that spark. Did Tyrod Taylor just create that spark for this offense? You look at the clock. We're at 4.5 minutes to go in this game. You force Dallas to start burning some timeouts with the clock if they can keep this run game going and wear this clock down.
Well, we've talked about Kellen Moore, who sat for 3 years in Detroit. Tyrod Taylor backed up Joe Flacco for 4 years in Baltimore. Won a Super Bowl ring. Never started a game until this season, as Williams is wrapped up by Rolando McClain, yard shy of the marker with 4 minutes remaining.
Yeah, some old school football right here. Fullback lead, a little power to the side, and that's just some good contact right there. Rolando McClain, J.J. Wilcox stopping Carlos Williams.
So a huge play coming up. 3rd down and 1 as the Bills look to extend their drive and keep the clock moving. From the 28, it is Williams, and on the second effort, he picks up the first down.
Jumping in there and running right behind Craig Urbick, too. You heard John Miller is out with that ankle injury again, so getting in behind the right guard, pushing the pile.
So a big first down for the Bills. Timeout has been taken by Dallas. They're first with 3:25 remaining. Jason Garrett, who has now coached more games, regular season and postseason, than Jimmy Johnson. And we'll send it to one of Jimmy's colleagues, Kurt Menefee, for an update on the Falcons and Panthers.
Panther perfection in jeopardy. Shane Graham's 37-yarder gives Atlanta a 4-point lead. 2-minute warning. Carolina needing a touchdown right now at their own 37-yard line. We'll keep you updated. Kenny, Moose, and Laura.
All right, thanks, Kurt.
That might be the shocker of the day. I mean, just a couple weeks ago, it was 38-0 Carolina over Atlanta.
Yep. There's Gillislee, and he will pick up another Bills first down out to the 45. And another timeout taken by the Cowboys, their second, with 3:18 remaining in the fourth. We just heard from Kurt Menefee. Atlanta with a 4-point lead on the 14-0 Carolina Panthers, who have won their last 18 regular season games dating back to last year.
And you looked at the upcoming schedule, especially what they did to Atlanta just a couple weeks ago at 38-0. You thought there was a strong possibility Carolina was going to be able to pull that off.
Under 2 minutes remaining in Atlanta. 3:18 to play here at Orchard Park. Dallas down to 1 timeout as Taylor will cross midfield and is tackled at the Dallas 49-yard line.
Again, just a little bit of everything from Greg Roman and his offense. And there's a called quarterback run with 2 linemen pulling out in front.
One reports as an eligible receiver. Number 71 is eligible.
These numbers are updated through today, so Tyrod Taylor now second among quarterbacks. Sets a Bills franchise record. Doug Flutie Rushed for 476 for Buffalo back in '99. On 2nd and 5, it's Gillislee, and he will pick up a Buffalo first down and more. Gillislee, a 60-yard touchdown run last week, and here he goes for 50.
You lost run support on the left side of your defense. And we've talked about his burst, his breakaway speed. He's had big touchdown runs the last couple weeks. It's just going to be across here and then straight down the sideline. We'll see what happens at the top with Brandon Carr. Kind of leans inside a little, gets that, and then you just got a pile up right there. Byron Jones gets caught up inside. So you lose your edge support. And Mike Gillislee makes you pay with a 50-yard touchdown run.
False start. Number 71 offense. 5-yard penalty. Still to do the try.
Well, Gillislee has 23 carries this season, and 2 of them have been touchdown runs of 60 and 50 yards. And for the Bills, a 92-yard drive, their longest of the season.
Now, let's not forget that opportunity that Dallas had to sack Tyrod Taylor back deep in the Bills' end of the field, and just a great individual effort by Tyrod Taylor to not only eliminate the sack, but also convert for the first down.
Carpenter converts the extra point. Bills lead by 10.
Well, Chris Hogan has stayed in the game mentally all day. He had a big drop early on, then they had the interception that I'll put on Tyrod Taylor, but he's the one that secures the block on the outside. Byron Jones comes up inside, poor angle. That allows Mike Gillislee to get to the edge. So good job. I like to see when players have adversity early in the game and they stay in it. They stay with it mentally, wait for that opportunity to help their team get a victory. Chris Hogan does it right there. But here's the play that, this is the called run. I mean, these are the things that Greg Roman makes you defend. That's Tyrod Taylor kind of starting a sprint to the right and then cutting back to the left. And he's got 2 pulling guards out in front of him. But again, that play that he extended, when he made 3 Dallas Cowboy defenders miss him. I think Greg Hardy's still figuring out how he missed that shot. Tyrone Crawford had a great shot at him. He's an element that drives defensive coordinators crazy because you can do everything right on the play. Rod Marinelli's guys can do everything from an assignment standpoint correctly, and Tyrod Taylor can still make a positive play.
Bills rushed for 240 last week. They have 223 yards on the ground today. Penalty flags as the ball came loose on the return by Whitehead. Bills recover.
During the return, holding return team number 57. That penalty is declined. First down, Buffalo.
2:18 remaining. Bills football. They lead by 10. We check in with Mike Hill.
Undefeated season for the Carolina Panthers in series jeopardy right now. Falcons up 17-13. Cam Newton's pass to Greg Olsen incomplete, but the Carolina Panthers about to get the ball back with just over 1:30 left.
Here's some corks popping down in South Florida.
The infamous 1972 Dolphin watching party with an interesting twist this year.
Yes.
With Mike Shula, the offensive coordinator of the Carolina Panthers, being involved in the mix.
Well, following the Dallas turnover, Bills get the ball back with 2:18 remaining. This is Williams. And the Cowboys will use their final timeout. Now you look ahead to next week. The Bills, of course, have already been eliminated from playoff contention, but guess who's coming to Orchard Park next Sunday? The New York Jets. who are tied with New England 20 apiece. Pittsburgh's losing. Jets with 9 wins. Steelers have 9 wins. Kansas City leading their game with Cleveland by 4 with 2 minutes remaining. Chiefs with 9 wins. So that game could mean everything for the Jets, where Rex Ryan spent the last 6 seasons as their head coach.
But the one thing that Rex Ryan can't do is make it about his relationship in the past with the New York Jets. It's just the final game on their schedule. They need some positive things at the end of this season to start working into 2016. If guys like Eric Wood and some of these players on this team are going to talk about the potential of what can be of 2016, they have to finish 2015 on a positive. And next week is just, it's a game. It's a game that's on the schedule. There's going to be a lot of things that people will write and talk about, but the bigger you make it, the more you play into those other things.
Well, Taylor picks up a first down, and that will bring us to the 2-minute warning, which means the Bills will be able to run out the clock on the Cowboys.
Right there, Scott Linehan, kind of his mentor. He was the one that got him to Detroit when he had the opportunity there. Scott Linehan came down to Dallas, and when Kellen Moore was released from the Lions this season, Scott Linehan, one of the first people to call him. So it's all about opportunities. He came out today, had the chance to take all the reps this week as a starter, and his location was a little off today, but I think that spark was still there. He got the guys involved down the field.
Cowboys will host the Redskins in their season finale next Sunday. Coming up, America's Game of the Week. Many of you will see the Packers and the Cardinals, or the Rams and the Seahawks. Great job by our entire crew here in Orchard Park today, led by our producer Barry Landis, director Brian Lilly, associate director Joe Williams, broadcast associate Paul Marmero, our technical producer Sid Drexler, technical director Jared Legrani, crunching the numbers Dave Corus along with Ricky Camps, and our spotter Ben Bulma. So the Buffalo Bills will go to 7-8 with the Jets visiting next Sunday, and the Cowboys will drop to 4-11. Last time Dallas lost as many as 11 games way back in 2002. So the Bills with over 400 yards of offense, 237 on the ground. Following back-to-back defeats to the Eagles and the Redskins, it's their first win against the NFC East this season. So Buffalo still with a chance to get to the 500 mark next Sunday. Big day for Tyrod Taylor, 68 yards on the ground. And Mike Gillislee with the exclamation point for Buffalo, the 50-yard touchdown run. So for Darrell Johnston and Laura Oakman, this is Kenny Albert saying so long to Kurt Menefee and the gang in Los Angeles.